Okay, remember we were asking you to sort of how you tell different things apart? This is one of the big questions that people used to ask all the time is you know, where did whales come from? How did you go from a land animal to a whale? And people used to assume that whales always lived in the water and that they never had a land form. But then we started finding fossils of whales that had legs. How do we know that this is a whale? How do they know this is a whale?
Because it's anatomical structure. Is there a little ball?
No. That's,
They had similar anatomical structure.
well, they had one crucial anatomical structure, which goes. Nope, it's not that. It's their ears. Whales have attached their ears to their skulls differently than any other mammal does. And that allowed them to hear better in the water. Now, when you look at this guy, this is Pachycetus, and there's a picture of him on the side here. There's a picture of him right here, too. He was one of the earliest types of whale. Now, how many different types of teeth does he have?
Three.
At least three. He probably has all four types of teeth that we normally have. Where does he breathe? Where's his nose? Way out at the tip, like a dog or thing like that. All right, how big a brain does he have? Where would his brain be?
Right there, that little.
Yeah, wait there. It's a really little tiny brain. He really doesn't have much more of a brain than a lizard, really. All right, then we have, a couple million years later, we have this type of animal. And unfortunately, we don't have this guy any teeth from this guy, so we can't tell. Where does he breathe from?
Slightly.
Yeah, he started to move up the snout, and that's what's called telescoping. And you look at him, how big is his brain case? What's happened to his skull there? What do you see is happening to his skull? But what is it symmetrical? What's happened to it back? It's twisted. It's like it's twisted to the left, right? All right, now you look at, this is a dolphin that's alive today. How many different types of teeth does he have?
One.
All right. And where does he breathe from? Yeah, way up here. He only breathes out of one of them. Remember what we said about this guy's twisted skull? Take a look at this guy's skull. Is his skull symmetrical? It's twisted to the left too. Same way this guy is. Because this is the nostril he breathes out of. That nostril, the right nostril is closed off. What does he do with that closed off nostril? Why does he have it? No, it's not even open to the water or air or anything. It's completely closed off. What does he do with it? Yeah, he uses it to make sounds. You know all those weird sounds that dolphins make? That's what he does, is he blows air through. He's got a whole series of little passageways and everything, and he blows air through it, up through in here, and that's how he makes those sounds. Now, the other thing about him is that, remember what we said about telescoping? What bones go all the way up to his nose here? What's the same bone on you? What would be the same bone on you guys? Yeah, I mean this little thing right here that's between your nostrils and your teeth. But on him, it's like this long. You guys ever seen the movie Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Remember where the young couple are trying to be scary? They grab their heads and pull their heads out. That's kind of what these guys have done. So the reason that all his teeth are the same, what teeth do you have on this bone right here that's between your nose and your... What are the teeth you have there? Your incisors. Those are all incisors. He's lost all his other teeth. He has a whole bunch of them, but every one of those is an incisor. Because what he's done is he's stretched this bone down. And since the only bone he stretched out is the one that has incisors on it, the only teeth that can grow on that are incisors. So what does that tell you about the programming that makes teeth? Yeah, different bones are programmed to produce different types of teeth. Make sense? All right, so here's a question, especially for all the women here. How come whales can give birth to really big babies? How come whales give birth to really big babies? Hmm? Yeah, there's no pelvis. Whales don't have a pelvis. So all it is muscle. There's no bone you have to fit the baby head through. The baby can be really big because all he has to do is the mother has to stretch the muscles out to have the baby come out of her body. Because whales don't have hind legs, so they don't. And this is. Do you guys remember the use it or lose it rule we talked about last year?
Yeah.
Any of you? What was the use it or lose it rule?
If you don't use that certain part of the body, it was just.
Yeah. If you're not using a part of your body, you're probably going to. Your body's probably not going to waste time and energy building it. It's going to shut down all the genes that produce it. And so with these guys, since once they started living in the water all the time, they no longer needed hind legs, so they just dumped them. And when they dump the hind legs, what else don't they need? When you don't have hind legs, what else don't you need? Well, you don't need a pelvis. Because what does the pelvis do? Yeah, it attaches your hind legs to the rest of your body and allows you to move. But if you don't have hind legs, no pelvis. So remember we talked about differences in legs and heads? Here we see differences in heads, and here you see differences in legs. See this guy, this whale that lived back here that had hind legs, he had quite a nice pelvis and hind legs, and he had a shoulder and forelegs. The dolphin today still has the shoulder and the forelegs, but it's completely got rid of the pelvis and the hind legs. But every so often we find a dolphin or a whale that has a little hind flipper because it's mutated. Somehow it got turned on. It makes a little hind flipper back there and actually has a pelvis. But most of the time they don't. But they still have the ability to produce it. But they just don't. So we want to go upstairs now?
Yeah, for just a little bit.
To see the honeybees and
Oh, yeah.
And maybe those skulls.
the skulls again.